Very much, Lewis. I'm down here waiting for the minis to go out. Ollie Mortimer took the win. He made a mistake early on in the race, and then I think it was Andrew Lamont who made the mistake, and he gained first place again. So a quick chat with him actually, just before we get going. Ollie, congratulations on the win. We didn't get a chance to talk to you before. It wasn't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't. It's roasting hot, and it's even hotter now. But Craig was flying. Obviously, I never did any testing. I went straight into the race weekend race, and you know, I made some uncharacteristic mistakes because of that, and also no feeling the best. So hopefully, I'll be a bit smoother and more consistent in this race, and hopefully get another win. But you never know. We'll see.
Yeah, any issues with the car and the heat?
Yeah, just the tyres and brakes going off. But we've made a few changes. Hopefully, try and manage it a bit better this time.
Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Okay, let's. Somebody want to talk to had a bit of an off in the reverse Knock Hill meeting last round out is David Taylor Piggott. Every single panel on his car has been replaced, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So he's gone through quite a lot of work to get a car out this weekend. David,
how you doing?
Not too bad. Car's looking beautiful after that bit of a scrap at Knock Hill.
Yeah, it was quite an off, but the team at Central Scotland Mini Spares and Jelly Customs have done a fantastic job. Can't thank them enough, and my mum for having the scare of her life. But I managed to get back in the car and get it back for race 3 at Knockhill. We're here at Cadwell now. This is my second race around here. I didn't do any testing yesterday, so yeah, baptism of fire.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on it?
Oh, it's awesome but scary at the same time. Yeah. I'm not caring where I finish today. I'm just going to relax, enjoy myself, and bring the car home in one piece.
And you've also got the all-comers as well later on, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the all-comers race, qualified. I knocked 10 seconds off my qualifying coming into the Cooper, so yeah, I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, so you get your money's worth out of 4 races today.
Definitely, but thank you very much to my sponsors, Central Scotland Mini Spares and Jelly Customs, and Martin, Andy and Laura, and my mum Margaret Piggott.
Brilliant. All right, well, you're about to go out. Good luck.
Take it easy. Bye.
Okay, I'm waiting for the podium for the Fiesta ST Cup. They're not down here yet, so for now, the minis are out on track for their second race. I'll hand you back to Lewis in the commentary box.
So now the Mini Cooper Cup heads out onto the circuit in what is going to be a great race too. Of course, the Mini's getting 3 races for the Mini Cooper Cup class, but the R53 class will only get 2. This will be their final race of the weekend, but stick around for race 3 because it is a reverse grid, so it'll be great. But talking about grids, it's going to be a great race, and it's a grid just finally lining up, and we're seeing the marshals on the grid getting the final few checks and showing the cars where to stop, because of course 2 classes in this race, so they have to leave a slight gap between the R53 and the normal Mini Cooper Cup cars. So it's going to be a great race, and it's going to be exactly like what we've seen in race 1. But in race 1, it was a close race, and it was a race which was really, really hard to overtake. But just because, although we had quite close racing, and it's quite hard to overtake these cars, it caused quite a lot of drama, because whenever you try to make a move, especially for the back section, it caused contact, and we've seen that with Michael Weddell towards the bottom of the mountain. He tried to go round the outside and then down the inside at the right-hander before it rises up towards the mountain, and whenever he did that, he made contact with Chad Little, and then Chad Little was in the grass going all the way up the mountain. So Michael Weddell, though, of course, last year winning the championship, so he's a highly experienced man, and it should be a great race, and it should be a very close race. And the green flag waves at the back, and we wait for the board to come out to signify to the drivers how long you'll have. I believe that'll be the 1 minute board first, and yes, the 1 minute board is out, so they'll just be waiting for this and just be keeping calm for what will be, well, for what will be a great result and what will be a great race. And race 2, it's great conditions for them once again, so they've been very, very lucky. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for joining us. Let us know down below who you're commenting, who you're supporting, and what race you're looking forward to. Of course, we still have every class that you've seen so far today. They have race 2, and for the Mini Cooper Cup cars, they will have a race 3, which will be a reverse grid, but we'll get into that later whenever it comes time. But now, green flags wave, and they head out on their warm-up lap, and now pressure is starting to rise for these cars, and it's really time where they'll want just to keep calm and just to use their head. But race 1, dramatic race, and it was conditions very similar to this, so they will know what it feels like to drive 20 minutes around Cadwell Park in these sunny conditions. But you can see already weaving around, getting them brakes hot, getting them tires hot, and just keeping calm in this warm-up lap, using their head and just trying to get it round in one piece by the end of this race, because that's all which matters now. It's championship time, so it's really now time for them just to use their head and just use every ounce of skill that they have. But of course, we just have to wait and see what is going to happen. There is Ian Rowe on your screen, battling right to the last lap there with Neil Hose, but it's going to be Oliver Mortimer that starts on pole position with what is Jamie Blake in second, and Andrew Lamont will be starting in third. Craig Blake will be starting in fourth, with the last year's champion Michael Weddell will be starting in fifth, with Chad Little sixth, Neil Hose seventh, Eamon Rowe eighth, and in ninth position we will have Gordon Long and Ryan Smith round out what is the top 10. So it's going to be an interesting race. We're just going to have to wait and see what is going to happen. The cards are out, sun is out, spectators have a smile on their face because they are watching some superb racing that we have here at the SMRC with some great and superb weather conditions. So now we just head around the final half of the warm-up lap now. Quite a slow warm-up lap for these cars, but it's quite a long lap. It's a 2.19 mile circuit, and it's one that is about double the length of Knockhill, just slightly less than double the length of Knockhill. And it's one that just provides as much of a challenge as Knockhill, because this circuit is actually known as the Mini Nürburgring. So it's quite famous, and it's most famous actually for this corner right here, the mountain. And it's a corner that is respected for all across the UK and even all across the world. There's some high up racers that just love the circuit and love this corner in general and love this rise. It provides a new challenge, and it's something that you don't see every day. It's something that really is the only one in the world. It's such a steep incline, and it's one that if you're a powerful enough car, you can even lift off the ground. So we just wait for the drivers to head around the final couple of corners before we head out for what will be race 2 for the Mini Cooper Cup. So drivers now just keeping calm, and of course the Mini Cooper S Cup cars will be on that front row with a small gap, so then we don't get the class confused. But there's a car going into pit lane actually, and I believe that is one of the Blakes, and it looks like that's Craig Blake that has went into pit lane. So maybe he has some sort of issue with his car and he's pulling into pit lane. Maybe though, if he can just speak to his mechanics, maybe his mechanics might say just go out and try it. He can head to the end of pit lane, get started for the start of the race, and just start from pit lane. But no matter what happens, it's going to be a recovery drive for him. So we just wait for these cars to get going and head off for the first corner and what will be Coppice and what will be race 2. And our first race 2 actually of the weekend. So we just wait for the final couple of cars to line up onto the grid. Obviously front row been waiting quite a while now, but green flag is about to wave at the back, and then we can get going as the marshal just points at the driver in the right direction, tells him what grid slot he belongs in, and then waves the green flag. And he's signified by start marshal, who gives them 5 seconds before we get going, before the first race 2 of the weekend of the Mini Cooper Cup class. And now the real question will be, will Jamie Blake be able to get that jump? And it's Jamie Blake who looks like he's been able to get that jump. It's a terrible start from Oliver Mortimer, and it looks like he's dropping all the way down to 3rd place. So right now, Jamie Blake should take the lead going into turn 1. Before then, we come up to turn 2, before going into Charlie's, and then coming out of Charlie's will be the straight, and it will be really where we get to see where everyone has ended up. So now they can see the 4 Mini Cooper S Cup cars in their positions right now. You can just see pushing on number 32, Jock Borthwick, just trying to get onto the back of Andrew Lamont and just trying to catch up and keeping that slipstream and just stay in that slipstream, because if you can stay in the slipstream, you can get dragged along with them. It's quite a weird effect, but your braking marker also has to completely change from them. But now you can just see the gap that's already been made, and Angela Lamont is into 2nd place actually, so it's a great drive. And it looks like Michael Weddell has been pushed down the order quite a bit to about 7th place right now, as we see Lamont getting sideways heading into Mansfield now. So will Blake go down the outside? It looks like he will. He's right onto the curb, but will he make it stick? It looks like he's gonna make it stick. Jamie Blake looks like now he's also trying around the outside at the mountain, but of course now he'll be down the inside. Will they make contact though? Because we've seen it last race. No, they will not. They both make it out alive, and now both cars still going, still pushing on. This is only lap 1 of the Mini Cooper Cup race 2. So now you can just see the other cars of the standard Mini Cooper Cup race just behind them with a slight gap. But now it's the number 32 of Jock Borthwick who's on the grass heading into Barn, and now we head round the start-finish straight for what will be lap 2 now. So now it's really where we get to see who has got the lap time so far, and it looks like straight out the gate Oliver Mortimer has got about a 3-second gap to 2nd position, Angela Lamont, straight away, so straight on the pace, which is what we love to see. So Angela Lamont in 2nd place right now in the number 5 car of Jamie Blake still in 3rd place. So Jamie Blake, we've seen him trying that move down into Mansfield, but he just couldn't make it stick. And Jock Borthwick still in 4th position, still working behind him. Chad Little seems to be leading the way in the Mini Cooper Cup class, as Oliver is, of course, in the Mini Cooper Cup S class. So as we see now, actually, Lamont getting into the grass, just tapping the grass, putting the dirt into the air and into his rival's face. But now it is time where we look at the lap times. It actually looks like, yeah, it looks like Craig Blake is definitely retired. He's not starting this race. Of course, we see him go into pit lane right at the start and pulling off, but it looks like he's not starting. There he is. Of course, we're speaking to him on the grid, David Taylor, and we just see the amount of dedication that goes into this sport and the amount of dedication that goes into these teams and getting cars fixed after accidents. And it's great to see, and it's great to see Chad Little up at the front in 5th place overall, but 1st place in the class right now. Neil Hose, though, just behind, and just behind them is Michael Weddell, last year's champion. We've seen actually contact from Neil Hose and Michael Weddell last round at Knockhill coming out the hairpin, and it gave Michael Weddell some more work to do. So now, right now, in 3rd place in his class, what can he do? Can he make up time? It looks like a slight gap back to Neil Hose, but if anyone can do it, it is Michael Weddell. Michael Weddell just coming round the final corner now, and just behind them is another battle going on with Ian Monroe and Gordon Long. So battles all the way down the field in the Mini Cooper Cup class, and it's something that we love to see. We've seen it in race 1, just how close the racing is, all the way down and all the way throughout the field. So you can just see spectators there. It's getting some shade because it is so warm, and it's so warm for these cars and these drivers trying absolutely everything to keep cool. But there is the race leader once again, the number 70 of Oliver Mortimer, and just trying to stay consistent, which is exactly what he's doing. But Angela Mont setting the fastest lap last time around with a 42.7. So now it's a 2.9-second gap. He's brought the gap down by half a second last lap. So the real question is, can he keep up his momentum? Can he keep doing what he's doing? Just keep bridging that gap. But there's Ian Monroe in that yellow Mini Cooper, just trying and just lurking behind Gordon Long right now, just trying to find any way past, because Ian Monroe, he does like a dive bomb. So does everyone else in his class, as Ryan Smith has actually made his way up to 9th place. But there is the number 20. There's number 28 on your screen. and he's made up 1 place and into 14th place. David Taylor into 14th place. So there is last year's champion Michael Weddle making his way through the mountain section and through towards Neil Hose. And Neil Hose, though, will have to multitask almost. He has to somehow defend from Michael Weddle, but then try and catch up and pass Chad Little, because if he can get in front of Chad Little, he can almost push and back off Chad Little into the hands of Michael Weddle. And once that happens and he starts scrapping, that's his chance to get away. So it's really just trying to be strategic here, as there's still 15 minutes left in this race. There's still so much time left in this race. Of course, all races this weekend, except from, of course, the last two, being 20 minutes long. So these drivers, they've already experienced a 20-minute race. Conditions, though, are even hotter than the race one. So conditions rising all the way throughout the day. Everyone is loving it, but right now these drivers, they'll be so warm in the car. I don't know if they'll be loving it necessarily, but afterwards, they'll love it. They'll get a tan. They'll be able to watch the mates race. But, of course, the Mini Cooper Cup cars do have a race free later on. It will be a reverse grid race, and it adds something completely different. It's almost similar to what the British Touring Car Championship do. It always adds new people into the mix and provides completely different and close racing from what we're usually seeing. What we're seeing right now, these guys might, for example, be fighting for 9th place next race, and it's their job to make their way through the order. And the thing is, with this class, with racing being so close and lap times being so close, it's so hard to be able to do that. But all these cars are pretty much identical, all of them using identical Yokohama tires and having the same ECU, which basically means it's the driver that makes the difference in this class. It's a driver who finds all the time, as it looks like Ian Monroe and Gordon Long are going at Gordon Long around the outside here, but it looks like Ian Monroe has finally got the better of Gordon Long and into that position for 7th place right now. He'll be buzzing with that, but of course 7th place overall, which will then put him 4th place in class. So great drive from him so far. You can already see the gap that he's pulled out on Gordon Long, so it really looks like Ian Monroe has some pace, and Ian Monroe can put in some good laps and potentially even catch this leading free in the Mini Cooper Cup class. So now we head round Barb, we get all cracking on the throttle, and we head through the Cadwell Park sign and through to make it 5 laps on the 5th lap of the race. 4 laps done so far, 7 minutes done this race, and so far it is still a dominant performance up front. Oliver Mortimer leading by what is 4.3 seconds from Angelo Lamont. So Angelo Lamont a bit further back, but this is racing. Anything can happen. We've seen it in the C1 class, actually, and that was Finlay Brunton, the championship leader, having to retire from the race and having some kind of mechanical issue. So anything can happen. With conditions being this hot, it really tests not only the driver, but the cars, and it really tests mechanics' ability as well, just to stay focused while they're prepping the cars and making sure they haven't missed anything. So it's a real test to everyone around this circuit, as now actually it was like Michael Weddle has made his way through Hose, so it looks like Neil Hose has just dropped back, and now it looks like Chad Little has been let on notice. It's exactly what Chad Little would have wanted, and now the question is, can Michael Weddle, now that he's finally in front of Neil Hose, bridge that gap again? Can he do it? But if anyone can do it, it will be Michael Weddle. Of course, last year's champion, and now he's really pushing on. You can visibly see whenever he is driving, running that number 1 plate, that he is pushing on. You can see how hard he has to turn that car and just get it where he wants to go. The car is completely listening to him, because these drivers have been spending all weekend just getting comfortable with the track and with the car, because one thing they're not prepared for is these types of conditions, because we're used to being at Knockhill, which is usually slightly cooler than this and slightly more wet, but we're 9 minutes in the race, 11 to go, we're almost at the halfway point. So now it's the time where drivers need to almost start thinking about the points, because this is round 4 of the championship. We're over halfway through the season, and now we really just need to stay focused and stay on it and just get valuable championship points. As Neil Hose, though, looks like he has dropped back from Michael Weddle, so Neil Hose potentially even dropping into the arms of Ian Monroe, because Ian Monroe will be seeing this, and Ian Monroe will be seeing Neil Hose just dropping back slightly, which is going to make him push even harder and have a marker just to go for. And basically whenever Hose will break, Ian Monroe will then break half a tenth later. So it's really cool stuff that we have, and it's really a race that is going to develop as we're at the halfway point now in the race. 10 minutes done, And once again, it's still this battle that we've seen, both cars touching the grass. It's something that we've seen all weekend so far, is the cars really, really enjoying just tapping the grass, just using all of the track and some. It's because also they crack open the throttle in between the two corners and slightly tap on the brakes, maybe even get the rear end, come around slightly just to get the car turned in. It's just getting that initial bite from the car just to get the car turned in. Once they have that bite, they can just get the line they want and go for it, because these cars, they're so great to drive. And a great thing about this class is that in it we have quite a few newcomers, such as Jack Irvin, Jamie Brown, Ewan Robertson and Finn Mack, all newcomers to this series and to racing. So it's great to see newcomers coming to the class and newcomers enjoying the class and enjoying such great venues that we have here. The SMRC have really treated us the past 3 rounds, because we've had not kill normal direction for round 2, not kill reverse direction for round 3, and now we're here at Cadwell Park for the away round. So 3 rounds in a row, the drivers have had completely different conditions and completely different circuits to learn, because not kill and reverse is, of course, very, very different to the normal direction, and it's nothing like this right now. I mean, Cadwell Park, it's great being here. You can see for this first turn just how wide it is, just how fast it is. They practically just shift down 1 or 2 gears and just turn it in and just hope it sticks. And that's really what they've been doing all of yesterday, is just having that confidence to be able just to tip it in, get the car turned, turn the wheel, and just hope that the tires just stay there and tires stick to the track. Which with these Yokohama tires, they're great, and all these drivers are loving it, because of course right now it's producing some pretty fast lap times, with the best lap being a 1:42.3 from Oliver Mortimer. So Oliver Mortimer now leading by 5.8 seconds from Andrew Lamont. So Andrew Lamont just dropping back slightly further, and Jamie Blake, the only Blake left in the race in that final podium position. So Craig Blake not be able to get that car going again. Maybe he just felt like something wasn't right and retiring it, which sometimes can be the better choice, because if something's wrong with your car, then you can cause more damage and more money if you try to drive it. But it's Michael Weddle who's took all the time off Chad Little. So now Chad Little, will he be feeling the pressure? Will Chad Little crack? He will see the #1 plate. He will see the blue and orange of Michael Weddle behind him, and he will see him lurking and getting closer and closer as each corner goes past, as we head through Hall Bend, then towards the hairpin. The hairpin getting this close to the curb. It's quite a high curb in the inside corner there, so if you go over it, you can bounce the car. So none of these drivers wanting to damage the bottom and the floors of their car. So we come round Barn, we come out of Barn, and then we head down the start-finish straight. And wow, what a lap it is. I mean, you come through here, Coppice, and you just have to get a car turned. In turn 2, you're unable to see, but it's just a long right-hander, and you really have to have faith in your car. You just have to almost center the car going into the corner, and then you come round what is Charlie's, and Charlie's is such a great corner. Charlie's almost links on to turn 2, and you have to get the drive perfectly out of Charlie's to head down what is Park Straight, and here we have the cars waiting for them just to come round what is going to be the Charlie's before. Actually, no, that is Park Corner that we're heading around now towards Chris Curve. And Chris Curve, such a hard corner, because you have to get the car perfectly lined up for Gooseneck, and Gooseneck just have to get the car turned in. You have to be so nimble with the car, and anyone is behind you, that is the place where you're going to crack, because you have to almost brake on the inside curb on the right hand side and then get the car turned in over to the left and then power it out without getting it sideways, which we see quite a lot. And we see this lead-in battle right now. This is for the lead in the Mini Cooper Cup class, and not the R53 class, which of course is winning the race overall. But it is Chad Little who leads this group, with Michael Weddle in second position and Neil Hose just behind. Eamon Rowe, though, has caught up. Can Eamon Rowe get on that podium position? Eamon Rowe clearly had pace. It just took him some time to get past Gordon Long, which is what we've been saying all weekend. It's so difficult to make passes. It's so difficult to make moves. But there is your 4 cars, and there is Eamon Rowe in that bright yellow Mini Cooper, and it's so easy to tell for us here in the commentary box. And you can just see him now coming through the start-finish line before they hit the timing beam. And what is 15 minutes gone in this race? So just 5 minutes left in this race, and it is still going to be this 4-way battle, I think, right to the end, unless there's some dramatic happens. So right now, Oliver Mortimer still leads away from Angelo Mont and Jamie Blake, rounding off that podium position that we have. Chad Little will be leading the Mini Cooper Cup class with Michael Weddle in 5th, Neil Hose 6th, Ian Monroe 7th, ending up that group battle that we're seeing right now. Gordon Long 8th, Jack Irvin 9th, and Ryan Smith, who we've seen had quite a big issue in qualified and having to stop the car. He's currently in 10th. So it looks like where he's been all weekend, 9th, 10th. So now it's great that Ryan Smith managed to get the car fixed. It just shows the commitment. Some of these drivers, some of these teams will be working on the car till late yesterday, and now they've managed to get them all ready for the racing today for these 2 races, and some of them even 3 races. Of course, the Mini Cooper Cup class being the only class that gets 3 races, but we'll get into that when we come to it, because it's going to be an exciting one. It's going to be somehow even more exciting than this battle going on right here. Chad Little in 4th place overall, still leading Michael Weddle. Michael Weddle, though, just learning. He's just seeing where he can try and make that move off Chad Little, but Chad Little, there's no giving up in that number 25, that white car. But now, Neil Hose, we've seen it once and we've seen it again, 6th place right now. He's there, and he's there pretty close. He's just sitting there doing what he needs to do. Trying nothing too insane. He's just putting in the lap times because it's quite a long race. Still 4 minutes left in this race, and it's something that we need to look out for is going to be Neil Hose, because Neil Hose, he can put in lap times, but it is all going to depend on the man behind him, Ian Monroe. Ian Monroe is just lurking there. We've seen once he manages to get past the driver, he can just fly away. His pace is incredible whenever he's by himself and has that clear track and a car or 2 to chase. But getting past this Cadwell Park circuit is showing to be very, very tricky. I see a triple free car there of Robertson, Ewan Robertson, in 12th position right now, the best lap of a 152.6. So Ewan Robertson right now in 12th and having quite a good drive, of course. But now we see side by side is Little and Weddle, and it looks like Weddle's going to try and go round the outside here as we head for Park Corner 2 Chris Curve. Will he stay around the outside? No, he will. Yes, he will, and this will leave the door open for Neil Hose. And now Neil Hose is through. Will Ian Monroe want to try to find a way past as well and put last year's champion all the way down to 4th in class, and then overall, even further down, overall it will go down to 7th position. So right now, Neil Hose managing to find a way past as Michael Weddle. We've seen it last race as well, just trying to go around the outside at that corner, and once again, a tiny bit too optimistic, and it's resulted in dropping back positions and losing a lot of time. So now what will Michael Weddle do? Will he just stay cool, put in the laps as we head over the rise and head over towards what is just 2 minutes left in this race? They just have to stay calm. They just have to keep it clean. We should get about 2 laps left in this race, I would say, and Oliver Mortimer still leads up front, but it is Neil Hose who goes wide and lets Weddle through and lets Weddle pass as we head into the final corner. It looks like Ian Monroe as well was looking to go down the inside, and yes he was, and yes he is trying to make it, but now he'll be going down the outside going into Coppets for turn 1. So will he brave it out? Will he send it down the outside, and will he try and just make the move stick? And yes, he is trying, but will it work? We're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen. Ian Monroe, of course, in the bright yellow car, but this is lit. The number 25 of Chad Little off the loose. So now Michael Weddle has, of course, found the way through, and so has Ian Monroe. Ian Monroe just find a way past Neil Hose, going through that first corner. Round the outside, very, very brave, but of course, turn 2 is a right-hander, so it switches back. So all he had to do was stick around the outside, and then he had the advantage with just 1 minute left in this race. We are watching the battle for the Mini Cooper Cup class, and the battle for the lead in that class, and the battle for what is 4th overall. And once again, we've seen it last lap that they're producing some great racing, and it's something that they have to be proud of as we wait for these drivers just to come round. As the leader, Oliver Mortimer, number 70 on the track right now. Such bright colours. You know, he's got some black, he's got some pink, and he really makes him stand out from the crowd. So the 333 now on your screen, Robertson, as the number 17 goes through your picture. Chris Cockburn in 11th place. So Chris Cockburn having quite a good drive and having quite a good battle with Ewan Robertson. So now we just see the battle through you see a battle coming through the mountain course as we wait for the leaders. As there is Ian Monroe having the battle with Neil Hose as the leader is coming through what has been about half a lap now. So that all the drivers now is heading on to their last lap as what has been a great race so far, especially in this Mini Cooper Cup class, as the R53 class is kind of widened out throughout the race. And now Oliver Mortimer has put on a dominant show, and he's just getting ready, going to get ready to come through the mountain section and come round the final couple of corners. And there he is there, coming through the final corner now towards what is Barn, towards the line and towards the race victory. Race 2 win will go to Oliver Mortimer, and what a victory it has been. He's dominated it from lap 1, and last time round 6.1 second lead he had and over Andrew Lamont, and now it's 4.6 second lead. Maybe just take a bit tentative on that last lap as Jamie Blake comes home to round out that podium, but all eyes are on this battle for the Mini Cooper Cup class win and their podium. So now what will happen? Chad Little was leading on, going on to the last lap, so now will he hold on to it? We wait and see, and Chad Little looks like he should be coming home in what should be 4th position. So Chad Little having a great drive, 4th overall and 1st in his class, which is really all he needs. So yeah, there is Chad Little heading through Hall Bend, such a technical part of the circuit. So now it's just time for him to come round and for them to come through. And there they are there, Chad Little coming through the final couple of corners. And right behind him is Michael Weddell. So Michael Weddell really pushing on for that position, for that win in his class, but he cannot make it work. It's Chad Little who wins his class and becomes home 4th place overall. Michael Weddell coming home in 5th, with Neil Hose should be getting that 6th place. Yep, Ian Monroe dropping down to 7th, with Gordon Long, who was battling with Ian Monroe earlier on in that grey car, will become home in 8th, with Jack Irvin 9th. And just closely behind Jack Irvin, we will have Ryan Smith's actually jumped up to 9th, with Jack Irvin dropping down to 10th. So Jack Irvin rounds out your top 10 in what has been a great race for the Mini Cooper Cup. And
well done, Chad.
Aye.
Long race. Talk us through that.
Well, I got a flying start. Managed to get a bit of a gap, but I couldn't really maintain it under pressure for the last half of the race. We kept it together and managed to get the win.
Yeah, there was 6th final for the overall top spot in the end. So to keep him behind you, especially around, well, it's pretty easy to keep him behind you around this course. It's very easy to defend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to overtake, but when you're under pressure, it's easy to make a mistake, and that'll be the difference. But I kept it.
So you got one more race this afternoon, same again?
I hope so. It depends what I draw at the ballot. Hopefully not number 8.
All right, well, congratulations. Go and enjoy this for now.
Spot on. Thank you very much.